you see that it's not that hard to actually go and ask to play a certain track from the CD. What we have to do is, right here in our sound.h, I think I'm going to add an extra function that says void play audio track, right? So we can say play audio track, and I just pass the number of the track that I want to play. So an unsigned integer, actually it can be an unsigned short track number. And you know what, as always, right, at the end of the course right now, I'm not wasting too much time typing everything from scratch. So I can just go copy and paste the solution, and then we can just analyze the lines of code, which I think everyone is mature enough to go with that, right? Sound.c, let's just implement that. So right about here, let's just ask to play an audio track, passing a track number. So what we have to do right here, right, as we invoke and say, I want to play an audio track, let's just say that in main.c, right here in our setup function, after we loaded all the sound effects, let's just say to play audio track, which one? Well, let's just pass number 2. Let's just say that we want to play number 2, which is the audio, the one that we generated, I think, right? Play background music, which is Red Book Audio CD track number 2 in this case. Well, it can be number 2, number 3, number 4, you get the idea. So what I think we should do is, in sound.c, let's just go over the logic right here, because what we're basically doing is invoking some very useful SciQ functions to go and set the mode of the play, go and read the table of contents of the CD. So what I have is, I am declaring a couple of variables. I have an array of parameters and results that we're going to see very soon where we're going to use. The first thing that I have to do is, as I ask to play an audio track from the CD, I have to, first of all, I have to come here and make sure that whenever we are initializing our sound, we are also initializing the CD, right? So we have to say CD volume left, the maximum one right here, CD volume right, this one, and also SPU common attributes, CD mix, I have to enable the CD input on, right? So SPU on. And then I set the common attributes. So now that we have the CD mix and all the volume correctly set for the CD, right, and then we have to enable the mask for the CD volume and the common CD mix, I have to come here in my play audio track, and let's just take a look at what it says. I have to set the transfer mode that can be done either by I/O or DMA. I have to set, in this case, by DMA, and then I have to take a look and I have to take a peek and fetch the table of contents of the CD. Remember how we spoke about the table of contents, which is that first, all the information of the data that we're going to find and where the tracks are in the CD. We need to take a look at the table of contents, because by looking at the table of contents, we can actually analyze what are the tracks and where to go and jump, set the position that we want to go and play those tracks. So this is a simple while loop that uses something called CD get table of contents, right? So CD get TLC, I pass the location. What is this location? Well, I'm going to have to declare the location right here at the top together with all these static variables. So besides all these ones, I'm going to add a couple more, which is, I have something which is of the type CD LOC. So I have 100 positions of LOC, and I have a static integer number of table of contents, which is how many entries in the table of contents I have. So it's just an integer number of table of contents to keep track of this count of how many contents I have in the table, and this CD LOC right here, which has, I'm just saying 100 positions, I think it's enough. So right here, what do we have to do? While CD get TLC LOC. So I'm gonna get and fetch and populate this array, and at the end, I receive this number of TLC, right? So the number of table of contents. While this is equals to 0, so this thing right here, right? If by any chance I didn't find anything, I'm just saying no table of contents was found, please use a CD DA, right? So CD digital audio disk. Right, so if we pass this while loop and everything was fine, I am just printing, just for us to see, right? The number of table of contents, so how many we have, and then I have to perform a couple of important rules right here. This is basically staple, right? I have to go for all this number of TLC, so for all the entries of the table of contents one by one, right? So from 1 until the number of TLC, pay attention how it does not start at 0. The tracks go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are 1 based indexed. So from 1 until the number of TLC, I++, I have to perform CD integer to position, right? So I have to go from the integer track number to the position of the CD. I get the CD position to integer of the location of that that table of content entry that I am, right? The address of the location. And then I have to just perform -74, the location of I. These things right here is just for us to position ourselves in the correct sector, in the correct track position where that track starts. And then I'm just saying TLC, track, minute, second. So I'm just printing some stuff so we know that we are actually playing something. You actually don't have to, right? You don't have to print all these things, but I'm printing just because. So we actually see something on the screen as a debug strategy. And then I have to set parameters and results. So params of 0, right? So I set the CD parameters. Report mode on, CD digital audio on, and if you want, you can take a look at the lib overview PDF, page 188. So you can take a look at why we are setting the mode report and CD mode DA of these parameters that we want to send, because what really makes us play the CD and actually emit this command to play the CD is what we call a change of CD control, right? So we have this set this mode using CD control B. So we can go there, CD control B function, we set the mode, passing the parameters that we just populated right here, right? So it's a combination, it is a joined bitwise OR between this and these constants. We set these parameters and 0. And then it is customary to just also wait 3 vsyncs. So we have this vsync right here. We wait, we give a little bit of a buffer to process, and then we ask to play the track in the table of contents array, which is basically saying CD control B again. So I emit, I saying I want to play the CD. What is the position? Well, it is the address of the location, right, the LOC, passing the track number that I pass as parameter right here. So what is the track number in that table of LOC that I want to play? Comma 0. This is all we need to ask to play CD digital audio track from our CD-ROM. I think that's it. I think I didn't forget anything. We are already here in main.c asking to play audio track 2. Let's take a listen and see if that works. So build ISO. Oops, I think I saw some errors. I do have some errors. So sound.c parse error before LOC, which is sound.c, sorry. Line 12, that is, oh, I think this CD lock comes from include libcd.h. Let's just run SciMake first. That's it. Perfect. Build ISO, generate our main.c, and encode everything. Which means that I should be able to come here and in my emulator, and if we load from the CD, if we load the queue, that should be enough, right? The queue has all the information that the emulator needs to go and load all the tracks. So let's see if that works. Right, and
3, 2.
ugh. Everyone, I'm so sorry, that did not work as I expected. Let me just check something. So number of table of contents, 4. So that is correct, right? 3 audio plus 1 data, 4 elements in my table of contents of the CD. I have 1, 2, and 3. That looks okay. I just, you know what? I have a feeling, maybe this thing right here, I have a weird feeling about this packed as raw here for the MP3. You know what? Cancel everything. I'm just going to convert this thing to WAV files because I know that WAV files work, and I have a feeling that whenever I convert it to MP3, I don't know, I don't trust this MKPSX ISO with MP3. Let's just go and convert that to proper WAV file, right? So just give me a couple of seconds, and in the next lecture, I'm going to provide you already the WAV files, and then let's see if the WAV files actually work as intended.